So a car with 5-star safety versus a car with doesn't have 5-star safety. क्या difference है दोनों में अगर दोनों टकराई?
It's about the robustness of the structure, what we call as body in white. The metal structure होता है गाड़ी की. How strong the structure is and how it is able to withstand the impact of a crash. 3 to 4 is almost double safety, and 4 to 5 is even higher safety. Can you guess in a day how many people die on Indian roads?
साल में 700 डेथ होती होंगी और
450 people die every day on Indian roads.
क्या बात कर रहे हैं? Do you think sedan और SUV में सेफ्टी का कोई डिफरेंस होता है? ये विजन कहाँ से आया कि हम फोकस पेट्रोल डीजल को छोड़ के ईवी पे करते हैं ताकि हम एक न्यू जगह पे बड़ा मार्केट शेयर ले लें?
By 2020, it was clear future of carbon-free emissions is EV. It was always seen as a new opportunity, but very future-facing opportunity.
Why EV makes more sense?
Have you ever driven an EV?
No.
You should drive it like a daily car. Driving becomes 10x easier, not 1x or 2x.
Why?
Because
if someone who's an entrepreneur and watching this, what are the opportunities they can spot in EV?
Community charging is a very big thing.
What was one feature which some other company launched and you wish you would have launched first? टाटा की न्यू कार्स इतनी ज़्यादा पॉपुलर कैसे हो गई है? क्यों वो सारे सेफ्टी अवार्ड जीतते ही जाते हैं? और कैसे टाटा ईवी मार्केट में एक लीडर बन गया है? इन सब स्ट्रैटेजीज और टाटा की ओवरऑल जर्नी पर हमने आज बात करी हमारे आज के गेस्ट से, विवेक श्रीवत्सा, जो टाटा पैसेंजर इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी के चीफ कमर्शियल ऑफिसर हैं. उन्होंने हमें बताया अबाउट हिज मीटिंग्स विद रतन टाटा सर और क्या वो आउटकम्स एंड लेसन्स जो उन्हें मिले इन द लीडरशिप ऑफ रतन टाटा सर, और कैसे उनके इम्पैक्टफुल डिसीजन से टाटा मोटर्स आज टर्न अराउंड हो गया है एंड रोड सेफ्टी, ईवी अडॉप्शन और कस्टमर सेंट्रिक इनोवेशन के थ्रू नई लेगेसी क्रिएट कर पा रहा है. इन सब के बारे में आज के पॉडकास्ट में बात हुई है. So watch this episode till the end. But before you do that, राजशमानी क्लिप्स एंड राजशमानी शॉर्ट्स को जाके सब्सक्राइब कर लो, क्योंकि वहाँ पर इस बड़े एपिसोड की छोटी छोटी क्लिप्स आते हैं ताकि कम समय में आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इनसाइट्स मिले. Enjoy the show. Have you met Ratan Tata sir?
Yeah, couple of times. Yeah, fortunate to have been around him.
What did you learn from him?
I mean, one is his intense passion and love for automotive. Obviously when I met him, he was already quite out of the chairmanship, but still interested. I mean, despite his health conditions, he used to come and look at new cars, look at it with so much love and fascination. वो उनके आंखों में दिख जाता था वो जो passion है उनका और fascination है. And then he used to ask the questions, and in the questions, how much he understands and how much deep he loves this category of automotive, So I was very fortunate to have met him maybe 3-4 times. Yeah.
What is the most admiring thing you found in him?
Humility, humbleness, never try to, the body language itself is so humble, which is a great lesson, I mean, you don't need to walk with your shoulders broad or head high to get respect, You get respect purely because of the humility, the fact that you keep everything inside contained and give a very approachable persona.
Vibe.
It's amazing,
True.
That's
True.
why that reference to God, right?
Yeah.
Many people almost treat him next to God. I think that humility and ability to control your power, your aura, and show it in a very approachable manner, it's amazing.
True. It was my dream to have him on a podcast. He was on my list
Of course.
of my top guests who I want to, and I really I got so sad, and I tried everything. I spoke to everyone and tried to get him, but the timing was such that my podcast started like 2.5 years ago, and since last 2.5 years ago, he's not keeping his well. Like he was not keeping very well.
True.
So I got very close to one point of contact, which I don't want to name, but like someone who's very close to him, and like that person told me that he would, like, I pitched a concept, and according to the person, he said that he told this concept to Mr. Tata and he loved the concept, but he can't do anything at this point because he's so sick that he's not doing any media interviews, any podcast, any appearance. And it's not even nice of me to ask him to give time because he wants to spend like this time with like his just people and the work he's like passionate about. He doesn't want to do. And I was like, this, I definitely,
I know.
Obviously, like I can understand, but it was like one missed thing, like which I missed. It was, because it was, it would have been a dream, not just for me, for like every viewer who's watching, to have him on the show. But it's okay. We're gonna make an independent podcast on his learnings one day.
Good.
Just his learnings.
Absolutely.
And now it's happening now with the legacy he has left. It's happening through you guys. Like we recently did Starbucks CEO.
Exactly.
Now,
he would have given some inputs. Yeah. You can make a accumulation of all this.
Exactly. So I'm going to make like a whole group, Sare accumulation, then going to make a podcast from all of you guys and be like, hey, this is what we learned.
That might be better, actually.
And the legacy lives beyond.
Yeah,
so that's how.
That is legacy, no?
Okay, there are, when you set up a dealership set up करने के लिए licenses वगैरह कुछ लगते होंगे. I'm sure कि वो local dealer लेता होगा, but उसके बाद कुछ टाटा कंपनी के लिए भी कुछ तो लाइसेंस होता है, कुछ होता है ऐसा?
हाँ, होता है. Agreements होते हैं.
Yeah, so there is some agreement, license, something is there. Yeah. And जो government officer है उसको sign करना है, he's not signing.
Yeah.
Because he's expecting some sort of, let's say, a bribe or anything.
We don't bribe.
You know, like, let's say it's a 100 crore project and ये 1 lakh में मान जाएगा because ये बहुत छोटी सी गाँव है, वहाँ पे हो जाएगा. So would you hold the project for a year और 1 लाख नहीं दोगे?
बिल्कुल.
And वो 1 लाख से 100 crore का project बन सकता है, लेकिन
कभी नहीं. Tata Group has never bribed. Of course, we'll put all kind of pressure on that person, saying why it should take 1 year. क्यों आप 1 साल लोगे? आप जल्दी क्यों नहीं करोगे?
Legal power.
Not even legal. Normal administrative power. कि बॉस आपके डेस्क पे फाइल पड़ा हुआ है, उस पे काम करो आप. You know, these kind of questions, man, जब आप उस डायरेक्शन में जाना नहीं चाह रहे हो, तो इस डायरेक्शन में बहुत स्ट्रांग होते हो ना. You will go and completely say that अभी आप काम करो इस पे, हक से पूछ सकते हैं. You know, so when your direction is clear, how you want to approach, you are very strong.
Then you build your strength somewhere else.
हाँ, and मेरे ख्याल से सबको पता है कि टाटा मोटर्स की फाइल है तो आप निकालना चाहिए और कुछ कर नहीं सकते उसमें. और टाटा ग्रुप level file, you know, so I think that is very clear.
कुछ होगा नहीं, इससे बेटर है,
कुछ होगा नहीं, निकाल दो इसको जल्दी, वरना और प्रेशर आएगा हमारे ऊपर. You know, I think that has been established, you know.
And pressure का ऊपर से application files डालना.
Exactly.
Question करके.
Absolutely. And of course the group is big, probably, you know,
that also works.
We are also asked कि, you know, प्रोजेक्ट डिले क्यों हो रहा है, तब हम बता दें तो उस पे ही आएगा ना कि इस डिपार्टमेंट पे फाइल अटका हुआ है, ऐसा बोल दिया तो बोल भी सकते हैं. we can create some sticky situation for that administration as well. So
lovely. I started eyeing Harrier.
Yeah,
that used to be the car I wanted to buy. Like it was, my life turned around after 2020, so then it's like from 2019 to 2021, 2 साल के लिए it stopped.
Yeah.
I just stopped looking at cars or anything at all. But 2019 I wanted Harrier. The black color Harrier I really liked. Like
even now it's
a giant car, like a really good car.
Mean and mean looking car.
Yeah.
It's very popular. Even now we sell about 30% of our sale is the black
Harrier,
yeah.
Out of all the Harriers.
So
I really liked it. Like Harrier was, it looked like the car I want to drive. Like it's like, I can't afford, let's say, a Land Cruiser or like something, or like a Range Rover. I can't afford that. So kya
but
kare?
Harrier is on a GLR platform.
Yeah. मेरे को लगता था Discovery का Harrier ही, like that's used to be like.
It's a Discovery platform, you know.
Okay.
It's exactly the same previous generation Discovery platform, D8.
So this was Harrier के time पे you launched. You were there. You just entered.
Yeah.
So Harrier, you planned the marketing. You were there.
Yeah, the Harrier. I mean, I joined in 2016. Harrier was 2019. By then, we had, you know, significantly moved up as a brand. Yeah, Harrier also we launched. Yeah, in 2000.
What was the turning point for Tata now?
I think turning point was 2020. You know, a lot of just before COVID, I would say we we launched 4 or 5 products between 16 and 20, but in 20 we updated all our products together. That was a point when the industry also went into a BS6 emission norms actually, which was a big step. We took an opportunity to change the design of the cars and upgrade all the cars together. And suddenly customers started seeing, a brand which had very aspirational cars. The other turning point is when we started talking about safety. Nexon, which we spoke about, India's first 5-star GNCAP rated car.
क्या होता है 5-star GNCAP?
5-star GNCAP is basically the safest you can get from a safety point of view.
Okay.
Worldwide.
Explain.
GNCAP is a private organization which rates cars in terms
कि
of
कितनी
safety.
safe है.
Kitni safe hai, in terms of they undertake all kind of crash tests and then they give points to every car. They do it across cars internationally, and they are neutral. They can go pick up any car from any company and crash it. Only thing, the company needs to pay the price of the car
Crash.
to them. So we had taken it as a challenge to see how robust our cars were, and then initially we undertook the Zest. There was a model called Zest. The Zest, it was submitted and we came with a 4-star rating, which really motivated us and kind of encouraged us to go even higher. Then with the Nexon, we said let's go for 5-star, which was the industry best.
Nice.
And at that point of time, nobody imagined that a car made and designed in India could achieve 5-star, which is like the global best in safety. So that really changed. So Nexon achieved that in 2018, actually.
So a car with 5-star safety versus a car with not 5-star safety, like doesn't have 5-star safety. क्या difference है दोनों में अगर दोनों टकराई या गिर गई कहीं पे या crash हुआ?
I mean, I can't explain it simplistically like that, but ये double होता है. It is not 3 plus 1.4. 3 to 4 is almost double safety, and 4 to 5 is even higher safety. In simple layman's terms. Not being technical.
But like, what is there a feature कि इसमें airbag extra है? Is it कि जब crash करते हैं तो
fundamentally it is about the robustness of the structure, what we call as body in white. The metal structure होता है गाड़ी की. So it is how strong the structure is and how it is able to withstand the impact of a crash. So there are certain key points in the structure which are strengthened. Use the right material. ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत भारी लोहा लगा दो और safe हो जाएगा. Actually, weight is counterproductive to safety.
Yeah.
Because more weight means more inertia, right? More momentum. So it is a fine balance between strength and weight.
Okay.
And in the right places also. So obviously, so very interesting for you to know. Tata Motors which has an in-house crash test facility. So that helps us a lot, that we can test internally. It is like preparatory exam before the board exam. Okay, before we send it to GNCAP, we ourselves know कि क्या mark मिलने वाला है, क्या number मिलने वाला है. So I think that really made customers realize that, boss, Tata Motor cars not only look good, but they have the engineering prowess to deliver safest cars. Fortunately or unfortunately, India is the world's leader in deaths on the road. I don't know if you saw the latest article. Can you guess in a day how many people die on Indian roads? एक wild guess, Lynn.
No. 2 people.
All India? Death?
Death, ना? 2 मतलब साल में 700 death होती होंगी और कितनी 1000 death?
450 people die every day on Indian roads. Yeah. That is how unsafe our roads are.
क्या बात कर रहे?
Yeah.
450 is like a big number.
It is.
Every day. Through accidents or some other means on the road. 450 people are dying.
Every day. That's how bad our roads have become.
But as an insider of some like a large car company, do you think sedan और SUV में safety का कोई difference होता है?
No.
कुछ भी नहीं, zero.
I mean, depends.
If a car is safe, then dono safe.
The
If
car
not,
can
car
be
is...
made as safe as the sedan, SUV, and the SUV can be made as safe as a car.
But in market generally, are SUVs more
And I'm
safer?
talking about crash safety,
Yeah, crash
But if you talk about ground clearance,
then definitely
sedan ground
SUV.
clearance is lower. So you will always have a risk of grounding it.
So do you think Indians pay करते हैं safety के लिए?
Safety is definitely top priority now for Indians. They know very well.
नहीं, will they pay premium?
I don't, like I said, no, I don't think they're being asked to pay a premium. I mean, our cars now are in the same ballpark as any other manufacturer, but they are getting safety as an additional benefit. But I think awareness of safety has gone up, definitely. People start saying that if I rather buy a safer car than buy a car filled with other features. इतना तो हो रहा है.
Okay. So people are still at least they're considering कि अगर दो same cars हैं तो जिसमें थोड़ी safety ज़्यादा है या features ज़्यादा है उसमें safety ज़्यादा वाला choose.
Safety has become a larger reason to buy.
It's not like I'll buy a piece of plastic just because it has more features.
Absolutely. वो बिल्कुल change हो गया.
वो change हो गया.
बिल्कुल.
Earlier जैसे ये था कि जितनी fancy features वाले वही लूँगा, safety
safety का खबर ही नहीं. I mean, people didn't know that there's a factor called safety, that my car can actually make me safer. ऐसा सोच ही नहीं था.
So what my question was, how in European nations Volvo ने ये किया कि
बिल्कुल
they chose to build a brand कि safety is equals to Volvo. Like they stood by it for years.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think, and उसकी बात का ही वो premium लेते हैं. Like it's not like कि as far as I have seen, you can compare that car with other cars which are much cheaper and have similar features.
Correct.
But then the additional premium and the brand that they've built is like we are safer. So दूसरी कार पे लोगों को इतना भरोसा ही नहीं होता है. Maybe वो same हो या नहीं हो, you don't know. People are not even comparing because the trust has gone so up.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think that's the journey we are in. I mean, Volvo ने ऐसा एक status शायद 40-50 साल के बाद कमाया है. हम उस डायरेक्शन में जा रहे हैं. Probably after another 10 years we'll be able to do that.
No, but is your focus to be named as the safety equivalent?
To be honest, as a marketer, I'm not sure that alone is enough in India. जो safety का जो the proposition of safety alone, is it good for a brand? I'm not sure. In India, it was good enough in Europe, where the value of life is much higher. In India, I think उनको एक्सीडेंट हुआ तो किसी और को हुआ, मुझे नहीं होगा. ऐसा ही हमारा आउटलुक है ना. वी ऑलवेज फील दैट हमारे साथ नहीं होगा, और या वो उसको चलाना नहीं आता, मुझे आता है. आई एम अ बेटर ड्राइवर देन हिम. वी लिंक ऑल दीज थिंग्स टू सेफ्टी. द सेफ्टी, the importance of safety in an accident is not understood right. Accident can happen to anybody. इसमें ड्राइविंग स्किल या अवेयरनेस का रोल बिल्कुल नहीं है. वो समझ नहीं पाते हम लोग, वही प्रॉब्लम है.
So इसलिए safety alone, so that's why safety alone is not going to be a thing.
Safety alone might not be as of now. Hopefully it should change in the future, because as our highways are becoming bigger, more and more people coming on the road, people realize that it's not how well you drive or how good the road is. It is your prevention. Again, it's like insurance. All of us pay premium for insurance, right?
Yeah.
Safety is like insurance.
True. I feel हर country 3 stages के through जाती है consumerism में, consumer products में. And जैसे क्या होता है कि जब कंट्री पैसे कमाना स्टार्ट करती है,
बिल्कुल,
तब वो चाहती है कि मेरे पास सिर्फ चीजें हो,
bare minimum,
bare minimum, so they go for the cheapest.
Correct.
Right. Then कंट्री जाती है एक फेज से जहाँ पे बोलती है कि मेरे पास जो हो एस्पिरेशन दिखे, so then it's status. And then जब वो नीड पूरी हो जाती है, then the country reaches a point where like जो मेरी सबसे important value या need है मैं उस पे जाऊँ, singular value. Then it becomes quality कि अच्छा मेरे को safety important है, कि driving experience important है, कि luxury important है, कि it can be anything.
I think that's a very good read भाई. I think just the other day मैं कहीं पढ़ रहा था कि जब एक फैमिली का इनकम साल में 30 लाख के ऊपर जब चला जाता है, उनका माइंडसेट बिल्कुल चेंज हो जाता है. ये जो transition है ना, stage 1 to stage 2. So 30 lakh is still, I would say, stage 2.
Yeah.
Suddenly impulse buying काफी बढ़ जाता है. लोग रेस्टोरेंट में सिर्फ लेफ्ट साइड देखते हैं, राइट साइड नहीं देखते हैं.
True.
ये सब सटल चेंजेस हो जाता है. सो विच इज, आई थिंक इंडिया इज इन दैट ट्रांसिशन फ्रॉम स्टेज 1 to stage 2. शायद और 4-5-6 साल में स्टेज 3 होना शुरू हो जाएगा.
हाँ, अभी हम स्टेज 2 में.
Stage 2.
अभी हमारे लिए
the mass of the
and
country
aspiration is like a big.
Correct. We, of course, a lot of people are in stage 3 as well. You know, I think India has got among the highest billionaires in the world, but that is a very niche thing. But bulk of the country is moving to stage 2, I would say.
Yeah, so that's what I feel. So हम पहले थे cheapest पे, lowest point बस हो जाए, जाके चीज आ जाए, फोन आ जाए. हम 2000 रुपए का चाइनीज फोन कहीं से उठा के लेंगे, चलना चाहिए, टच होना चाहिए, चल जाएगा, हम ले लेंगे, राइट. देन नाउ वी आर लाइक कि ओके, अब मेरे पास स्टेटस वाला फोन होना चाहिए, जिसको मैं पकड़ूं तो इट शुड नॉट ओनली जैसे मेरे पास फोन है, इट शुड बी लाइक it's a status.
बंदे के पास ये ब्रांड है.
And then you will go to like a specific feature or a specific
absolutely need. Then I'll say I want to focus on photography. I want the best photography phone.
Yes, you know? Because then what is my need? Because then you realize it. Because status after a point, it doesn't matter to you that much.
That's when brand consciousness heightens, you know. Then that's where brands start playing a bigger role. मुझे पता है कि ये brand लिया तो I will get the best in photography. Similar in other areas of life as well, you know.
Everywhere.
I mean, whether it's travel or luxury or automotive, in anything, you know.
It can be as simple as
brands
fashion.
start associating with that singular feature that you're talking about.
Okay, talking about EV now.
Yeah.
ये vision कहाँ से आया और ये कब किस point पे आया?
I think
कि हम maybe petrol diesel वाली cars में we have lost some battle, तो फोकस ना पेट्रोल डीजल को छोड़ के ईवी पे करते हैं ताकि हम एक न्यू जगह पे बड़ा मार्केट शेयर ले लें. Where did this focus come from?
See, it was never either or thought. ये जो focus, ये जो सोच है जो आप बोल रहे हो, either electric or petrol diesel was never the thought.
Okay.
It was always seen as a new opportunity, but very future facing opportunity. सबको तब तक by 2020 it was clear that पता चल गया कि future of carbon free emissions is EV.
हाँ.
When it's going to happen we don't know, but we'll have to start somewhere.
10 साल बाद होगा, but आज नहीं ना.
10-15 पता नहीं होगा कब भी. But we had to start and we thought let us start. It was a combination of the vision of our chairman plus the ability of the then head of electric vehicles, Sailesh, who is now MD. And the prowess of the engineering team who said that we can try and do it. So it's a combination of vision, ability to execute, push to execute, how to get the right size product. जो right sizing मैं बोला था, this is a right size product made. Not too techy so that you will take 5 years to make it, not too basic that it won't be reliable. Perfect product done in the right
perfect
time, not too long. So that's how it came about. Like I said, it made many of us within the company also convert into believers.
Do you want to compare an EV with all the other cars?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it? Why EV makes more sense?
I mean, firstly, I think it's long term, it is less emissions. For me, that is the most important. It is.
But the way EV is made, it's not that.
Like I said, it is already proved that. See, EVs are longer lives, and that's the one thing we should remember. So by default, whatever emissions has happened at the time of manufacturing gets negated over a longer life. Second is emission also is zero. Like I said earlier, even if the power is from unsustainable sources today, it's only a matter of 2-3 years before power generation will rapidly become greenified. That's something the government is working on. We can't wait for that time for it to become, then introduce EVs. So for me, the first thing is the environmental sustainability aspect, and this is purely my opinion. Second is EVs are the digital version of driving. Have you ever driven an EV?
No, not yet.
You should.
I've driven once. I've driven one just for like test drive of one of my friend's cars.
You should drive it like a daily car. You'll realize that driving becomes 10x easier, not 1x or 2x.
Why?
Because it is so easy to drive there's no, first of all, the comfort. You don't hear the engine noise, the vibrations. It's very digital. Second is the power is instant. You just touch the accelerator, you get power. So when you move in Mumbai traffic, you don't need every time clutch declutch, or every time that 1 or 2 millisecond gap in terms of gear engagement is not there. So you are just able to navigate so much easier in traffic without sound. You just used to get that very digital kind of a feel. So 10x easier to drive in traffic and 10x more comfortable because there's no sound, vibration, heart. These are for me the 3 big reasons. Other thing is that other peripheral reasons are that EVs are software driven. They get far more features than compared to ICE vehicles. Other thing is you can get all this features through software update. It's more like a gadget, So I think those are the reasons why I started driving an EV 2 years back.
Which one do you drive?
Nexon, our dal chawal product, I would say. But
does it also have a cost benefit analysis? Like, have you done the cost benefit analysis?
I don't do it much because for me it doesn't matter so much. But of course, it's very, very cheap compared to
a petrol or a diesel.
Yeah, again, it's
because
at least 8x cheaper. At least 8 times cheaper.
But initially, you end up paying more.
But that's changed now completely. Today you get the way EV prices have come down in the last 1 year. It's dramatic. For the price of a petrol.
Tell me a Nexon petrol and a Nexon EV.
I don't want to compare it that way, but you get Nexon EVs around. There are petrol Nexons at the same price as the Nexon EV. So sometimes, it's just earlier it always used to be 20% higher, 25% higher. Same is the case with the Punch or with the Curve. So price parity, as we call it. And I'm not even comparing Nexon petrol with Nexon EV. You have all the other competitors in the compact SUV space. Nexon EV is available where other petrol or diesel compact SUVs are available. So this price parity of EVs has happened in the last 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So we think that we are just going to see a big boom now.
But there's always a question, जब भी कोई EV खरीदने जाता है, it's the range. Everybody is afraid that if I buy an EV, where will I charge in middle of the road if I have to go from one city to another? On a petrol car, मैं यहाँ से इंदौर लेके जा सकता हूँ Nexon. Right? यहाँ diesel car में लेके जा सकता हूँ इंदौर. I live in Indore. अब overnight journey है. I can't take my EV.
You can, because now EVs are, we've launched the Curve now. We've enhanced the range of the Nexon.
कितनी भी रेंज हो, मतलब मेरे को 600 किलोमीटर जाना है, 650.
हाँ, 600 किलोमीटर में you have lot of charging stations in between across the country now. Of course, it's not as much as petrol stations. So that's the growth that we need in terms of EV charging facility. But on the other hand, you have apps today. Our own Tata.ev IRA app. If you log in, you can make a plan कि मैं भोपाल से शुरू करने वाला हूँ. Let's say 8:30 in the evening. And the app will do the planning for you. It'll calculate how much charge you have, how much charge you need to reach Indore, what are the 4 or 5 places you can charge in between. And it'll also tell you कि कौन से charges free है जब आप पहुंच रहे हो वहाँ. It'll tell you that कोई और गाड़ी charge कर रहा है या आप go to the next charger, or how much time you need to charge. All that is going to happen. Of course, the other thing, to be honest, charging might take you at least half an hour. So charging speeds also will go up. Probably in the next 1 year, 1.5 years, all the chargers will get upgraded to faster charging. It will come to a situation where in 15 minutes you can get a top up for 200 kilometer. So then it just goes. So, but even now, with a Curve, you can do 400 kilometers non-stop. So let's say Mumbai Pune up and down is a reality. Bhopal Indore is how much kilometers?
भोपाल इंदौर is same 200 की I don't know
200. See, one way you can easily
200 में
comfortably
और
do
कम ही होगा बहुत
190 or something if I remember. You know, beach
for
में
me it's like 3 or 3.5
poha खाते हैं.
yes 3.5 hours
When
3
you're having
hours
poha, you can charge it also. You know, वहाँ डालना पड़ेगा मुझे. I mean, I'll tell my charging team to put a charger there next time when you go. But 400 kilometers real world possible with Curve, which is a 20 lakh product. You know, and 20 lakhs you have other petrol diesel SUVs also. So I think we are just on the surface of, you know, the other thing also is that the main stress is, will I find a charger?
yeah
You know, I don't think the stress is about how far I can go, you know. So that will I find a charger will dramatically improve in the coming days.
आज नहीं है ना आज today
आज
we are not
है.
well versed with that
See,
infrastructure
you can do Mumbai to Bangalore, Mumbai to Chennai drives comfortably. You have enough of chargers. Especially if you go to the south of India, there are much more chargers, you know, and very good charging experience also. You can charge your car in 15-20 minutes and then leave. You can have breakfast or coffee on the way. So I think it's only a question of time.
do you think battery swapping will become a reality
See, it is not seen as a eco-friendly approach, and it's too complicated. Batteries are heavy, and removing it out also is not the easiest thing. So I don't think it's a sustainable way to go ahead, and hence I don't think it'll be.
so you'll never be able to carry extra charging
No, I mean, there's no point in carrying charging, you know.
like why don't have
it'll
like
be
an
heavy.
extra battery type sort of something
There are some
which can just,
solutions
like,
coming up where you can take a
change put it and then
you
I
don't
can
need
change
to change put it, but you can have some accessories are there where you carry a 10 kilowatt battery with you. So in case you run out of charge, you plug in that battery and give charge. Like your portable chargers, you get a portable charger for, here it is 20,000 milliamp, there it is 10 kilowatt, you know, that's the only difference. But
And-
those are not, because those are heavy, you know. A 10 kilowatt battery, you need wheels to take it, you know. So that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
So, but that you see, it'll get
So like I said, the
solved
only solution
soon.
is
How far are we from the solution of
2
having
years.
EVs? Really?
Yeah.
It'll be that fast.
Every petrol bunk will get a charger in the next 2 to 3 years, I would say, because oil marketing companies are going, that is their future.
Yeah.
You know, when the industry is going to change to EV, they'll sell lesser and lesser oil. So, you know, that's how they look at it. Yeah.
And recently, Nitin Gadkari sir said that he wants to end subsidy on EV vehicles soon.
I mean, we don't have any subsidies right now going at all.
Nothing?
No, it's only the state level subsidies which are being given.
But isn't it cheaper for a normal customer to buy an EV?
It is only a GST
vehicle?
differential GST, which is not a subsidy actually. It is like, you know, cup might have a different GST to the table, right? It's like that.
How much is it? Like, what's the difference between
EVs are
petrol
at 5% GST.
and petrol cars are at?
Petrol, depending on the kind of cars, it's anything between 48 to 52%.
That's a massive,
Yeah, it is.
massive thing. That I call
But
it
it's not a subsidy. It's not a but that's the way to.
sort of,
But
like some way of
But when you
compensation.
sell an EV, the government doesn't need to import fuel to run it, no? That is a big difference. What they save in fuel subsidy, they give in GST difference. We spoke about China, right? In China, the big push has been from government. They've been giving huge subsidies. Even in US, all the EVs get subsidies. See, you want to rapidly accelerate adoption of a technology, you have to make it affordable, you know. So I won't say it. In India, it is still a GST difference, not a subsidy. Subsidy is when you buy a car, you are given 1 lakh. It used to happen, right? Delhi had that. Maharashtra had that. Even now, some other states have it. That is a subsidy, which is over and above the GST thing. Currently, it is a differential GST item, different depending on, you know.
So if that ends,
Yeah.
that'll be a problem.
It should not end because it's a different category. You know, it's like if the government wants to move the country in one way, they have to ensure
Maintain
that
it for a long time.
Yeah, maintain it for a long time.
You don't see that changing anytime.
I hope not. Yeah.
When Nitin
You can
Gadkari
never
made some comment.
affirmatively say that, but it is in everybody's good. The government wants country to go EV. Manufacturers of EV also, they still don't have the economies of scale, right? Also, the amount of localization possible in EVs are not as much as ICE.
Yeah.
The more you localize, the better cost. So that support is required for the category to grow. Plus, we spoke earlier that price parity is so important, and you can achieve price parity only with some help from the government.
True.
So it is, I think it's like you have to nourish a growing child. No?
Yeah. Do you think you guys will enter EV bikes?
No plans as of now. Yeah.
No?
It's a different
Tata entering EV bikes, man.
No.
But because bikes is a big market in
It's a
India.
big market, but it needs very different kind of capability, a lot of a lot of management bandwidth. Again, margins are not easy to come by. So I don't think right now we are looking at it.
Right now, what are your plans? Like, what's the future look like?
We just have to continue to convince customers that EV is the most sustainable, relevant technology of the future. It is the safest, most comfortable way to drive. Continue to start making reliable products. Continue to make reliable products. Establish the technology as a stable tech in people's mind. I think they still look at it as a very small, nascent technology, not as a mainstream tech.
Not yet.
So that is a journey. I think that will happen in the next 1.5 years.
And in next 5 years, what's the kind of market share you guys expect to capture?
More than market share, I would say we want to achieve about 30% of our sales through EV. Currently, we are at 12. We want to move it to 30.
In next 5 years?
In 5 years. The PV side also is growing, but we want to grow much faster on the EV side. I think also working with all the charging provider operators. You have a lot of startups putting up chargers. You have the government putting up chargers through the oil marketing companies. Working very well with them. See, one of the advantages we have is we have data of our cars. Where all they are going, where they are charging, which are the charging hotspots. Let's say if I have data on how many EVs, Tata EVs are doing Indore to Bhopal every day. I have the data. I know exactly most of them, where they prefer to charge because they're charging there.
Yeah.
So this kind of information we are, sharing free of cost with the government, with all the startups, saying that, boss, this is a place where if you put a charger, you will get high usage. So we could charge money for it. We are not. We are giving the data so that people start putting chargers in the right place. Customers benefited because they get chargers there. Those companies are benefited because the usage is quite high. And we will be benefited because the technology is being accepted.
And infrastructure is getting built so that net is going to be positive for the whole EV industry.
That is a big area that we'll continue to be committed on. Sharing our data to grow the charging infra.
If someone who's an entrepreneur and watching this, what are the opportunities they can spot in EV, which you guys see probably as some gaps or the missing spots, so that some entrepreneur can come up and partner with you guys, probably from a small scale to large scale? I'm open to hearing like multiple opportunities if you have.
I think charging infra is definitely something we can look. We are already getting seeing a lot of startups coming in that space. Many of them are restricted because of bandwidth. There are players who play in only one region of the country because, to expand, you need more management bandwidth. So charging is one good opportunity. More and more on the EVs, you'll start seeing apps coming in the car. I spoke about how Amazon is already there. Park Plus is coming. You don't need to have a tag there. Your car has Park Plus. You're going to get UPI also in the car, so that you don't need to take out your phone and scan. As you pass by, that payment will be made. This is just immediate. 2-3 years down the line, there's no end to how much apps can get into the car and work. So I think this entire app infrastructure, how to make the driving much more easier, will become a big place.
These are big opportunities you see. Apps and charging.
Yeah.
And you don't see big players coming into this?
into apps and charging. I mean, big players already there. Tata Power is already there in the charging sector, and many of them are already fairly big. These startups. So oil marketing companies getting into charging is a very big thing. They won't allow another player to come and put their charger.
Exactly.
It'll be a BPCL charger there. It'll be a
So then it doesn't leave like a lot of opportunities for startups.
There are, because
very few, because if the large mafia is coming into this.
No, but the opportunity is within the cities. See, today anybody who buys a EV will want to have a home charger. So he needs to have a dedicated parking for his car to put a home charger. But I think 70% of car buyers do not have dedicated parking space. They just park by the roadside or wherever possible. How will they charge? So community charging is a big thing in the future. If I know that in Andheri West, around where we are, 500 meters away, I have a bank of 4-5 chargers, I'll buy an EV. No, I don't need a charger at home. जब चाहिए हफ्ते में एक बार वहाँ जाके charge कर लूँगा. So that community charging is a very big thing. So highway charging, I mean, long drive you must be going 2 times, 3 times in a year, but you are going to charge within the city every week. So the opportunity for CPOs, charge provide operators, is more in the city. Every locality put a bank of 5 chargers. You will start getting.
But then let's say a local oil station or a gas station,
they can also put it.
They can also put it, like a BPCL will put it.
They will put it.
Khatam ho gaya. Indian Oil Gas ho gaya, HP Gas ho gaya.
The idea is in the future you will have lot more. I mean, the space required is first of all much lower in putting somewhere close by. And if your charging bank is much closer than a petrol bunk, there are not really so many petrol bunks also around us. We go there, and big thing is you're going to the bunk and coming back is a big work. Whereas here you can just put it.
So like every lane can have like
every lane can have 4 or 5. That's the way it'll develop in the future.
And that's where the small startups can enter like and then actually become a big
Kirana
player.
Store in the corner of the lane, you'll have chargers also. That's how we're looking at.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was comparing India, US and China in terms of cars and our per capita income. Okay, so it was US में हर 1.2 लोगों के पास is equals to 1 car.
Correct.
So it's like almost everybody has a car.
Yeah.
Right.
More than 1 car.
More than
yeah.
Right. China में there's हर 5 लोगों के पास एक car है. So for every 1 car there's 5 people.
Yeah. Right. Maybe a little more now, I would say.
So this is 2024 data which I was reading.
Okay.
So US में एक कार के लिए 1.2 लोग हैं. चाइना में एक कार के लिए 5 लोग हैं. इंडिया में एक कार के लिए 45 लोग हैं.
Yeah.
Right. So do you see that growing and reaching to a level of 5?
Definitely. With the kind of road infrastructure and the kind of GDP increase we are seeing, it will happen. Also, auto industry is one of the industries where the cost, we have been challenging cost a lot. If you see relative cost between what a car has grown to what other industries have grown, it's been fairly stable. I mean, maybe 15 years back, you could get a car for 2.5 lakhs. No, you can get a car for 3.5-4 lakhs, But look where income levels have gone and,
Or the same car which you used to get for like, let's say 5 lakhs, today you get it for 10 lakhs.
I mean, it's not exactly the same car because it has different engine.
The same name of the car.
Name of the car, but it's not the same car at all.
Like
because the engines are more advanced, much more fuel efficient, lot more safety parameters.
Like I'll give you an example of, let's say, one of your cars. For if you want to put it, let's say Range Rover, because that's a luxury car. So the Range Rover which you were able to buy even 5 years ago, that same Range Rover you're not able to buy at the same price today.
That's not the way to look at it, because
high.
There is a certain, on one side, brands, as they become more familiar, the automotive industry always makes the cars bigger, more feature oriented, and it keeps going up. But if you look at the bottom, what does the entry level car cost in 2010? If I'm in the market to buy the cheapest car possible, because I want to upgrade from my two-wheeler, what is the car? How much is the affordability?
2 lakh rupees, 2.5 lakhs.
No, it's hardly 20-30% difference. So that's the other way to look at it.
No, but same. अच्छा जो car popular हो जाती है वो महंगी हो जाती है. Is that it?
I mean, yes, because
that's it. Like in average, I'm talking.
A brand upgrade has to happen, right? For example,
like even if it's small, सस्ती car कोई है जो छोटी, like let's say. Because you guys have changed your car, so I can't pick up.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
Because you've changed cars. I'm not talking about EV versus non-EV.
Change the brand. But if you want to continue the same brand, which is the best way to do it, and many of the international manufacturers do it very well, especially the Japanese. When you get the next generation of the same car, it has to be better than the previous generation. So automatically the size changes, the features change, the engine changes. So over a decade, 2 decades, you will see that the car has become much larger, engine has become much larger, features are much larger for the same nameplate. And hence the cost also goes up.
What was one feature which some other company launched and you wish you would have launched first?
I mean, we have launched it now, but maybe automatic transmission. Maybe we could have been faster to the market, embraced it much faster.
You didn't expect India to go from manual to automatic this soon?
So fast. It also needed a lot of investment, I would say. Now we are catching up, we are catching up very fast. But maybe 10 years back, if we had gone wholeheartedly into automatic, it would have worked, So
India has gone like post-pandemic, ekdam se automatic transmission. Is
we did have, but not in the way the customer wanted, We had something called AMT and...
क्या चाहिए था customer को? Not the way customer wanted as in?
I mean, there are different technologies of automatic, and the way they have transitioned through it is very fast. So maybe we could have embraced it much earlier. We introduced AMT transmission in 2017, but maybe we should have done it a little earlier, is my point.
There's a question which bothers me usually, and this is purely based on the perception of people who have spoken to regarding car, कि एक पूरा cultural acceptance है कि जो हमारी Indian made cars है उसको थोड़ा inferior देखा जाता है. Why?
I mean, mainly it is because of the number of years we've been making cars, and when I say cars, proper cars, it is definitely a field where a number of years of manufacturing is associated with technical prowess. It is changing a lot now, especially with EVs. And I think even the mindset of customers are changing a lot. Today, you have both the Indian manufacturers in the top 5, So it is changing for sure. For much part of this calendar year, Tata Punch was the number 1 selling car in the country, So I think it is dramatically changing, in terms of acceptance of Indian manufacturers as being as good as them. Safety also played a big part, when we said that we achieved 5-star, then they suddenly realized that, boss, this Indian is like world-class manufacturer. So it is changing a lot. But hota hi hai, we still have that feeling that just because the international manufacturers are supplying cars across the world, they have much more experience in making different kind of technologies. They do have a wider spectrum of powertrains, etc. They have access to, different universities from where they take the best students. So, wo sab hai. I think those are more circumstantial and geography driven than anything to do with national nation of origin. And nation of origin association with prowess is changing rapidly, especially in India, And I think the more people see, today we are making semi-high speed trains in India, which was not possible. We are making aircraft in India now. So I think in the next 4-5 years, that belief that we can't make the best in India will go away completely. It's already going away. But other circumstantial and geography-oriented thing, like I said, in terms of access to best of talent, skill, access and exposure to international markets, that will take some time. And I think, but India is the future. In the next decade, 2 decades, I think that will also change. Yeah.
So you feel that it's only because बाहर की कंपनीज का नाम ज्यादा है और वो पहले आए थे और उन्होंने काम करना स्टार्ट किया.
बहुत कुछ देख चुके हैं in terms of experience,
That's why it's
exposure. But more and more it's becoming that it can be as much a disadvantage as an advantage.
Why? Why disadvantage?
To change legacy processes, legacy.
So they are not fast and agile.
They are not at all fast and agile. So that way.
But you guys are also comparatively very big. Large, Tata,
but we are agile,
processes, code of conduct, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं.
I mean, code of conduct.
No, I'm just making. I just use the word because
but
we started
relatively, we are much more. We can be much more agile, And as a culture, Tata Motors is highly risk taking. If you look back at every single car we have made, right from suddenly we were making commercial vehicles. You come with a Tata Sierra, which is, you remember the Sierra? You don't, it's well before your time. It was in 1995 or so.
I was not even born then.
Yeah. So if you can just Google it later, you'll see. It was India's first lifestyle SUV, which had a 360-degree view those days. Then you came, and then there was a Tata Safari, which was launched. Then we launched the Indica, which was Sumo also. But I mean, the kind of risk-taking ability that Tata Motors has, saying that we will give the Indian consumer something which is extremely different from what he has seen, but still does the basic job. You must have heard of Safari, right? Tata Safari, the first gen. Again,
used to be very popular
car. Nano. I mean, all of us know how much of innovation went into Nano. On the other side, on one side you have a Safari which pushed the envelope in terms of technology, performance. Nano is still seen as a benchmark template for, frugal manufacturing. Even now, if you see in terms of design innovation, Nexon was a completely different looking product. You must have seen Duster. If you compare a Duster with the Nexon looks like a Porsche kind of a rear, we benchmarked that. So I think Tata Motors has that drive for innovation. Never to give, if somebody wants A, you give him a B, which does the job of a A also, but also looks different, That's how we have always approached. So that will hold us stable in the future.
Fair. But still we are not 1 and 2. Like Indian brands are not rank 1, rank 2.
Like I said, it's journey,
going to take time.
And sometimes the objective is not to be number 1, number 2. It can be different.
Compare an Indian customer with a customer of, let's say, Middle East. क्या difference है Middle East और Indian customer में?
Indian customer, firstly, he plans to own a product for a longer time. If you take a car, in mind, you have 4 to 5 years.
Minimum. Or more. There, probably maximum they think of a year. And then they'll sell it off. And many people used to buy it on lease also. अब जब lease में खरीदते हो तो you can keep changing your car anytime. That's the mindset. Plus the overall place also is like that, right? As long as you have a job there, you have a visa, then you're allowed to leave. Even if you change your job, you're allowed to leave and come back, when your visa gets renewed. So, सबका ऐसे ही approach है हर चीज में. See, let me enjoy now. I don't know how long it's going to last. That's the mindset overall. I think it's a different kind of place. I'm not running down Dubai at all. I think it's become quite a haven for expats. If you want to enjoy life, have a peaceful life, it's the best place. But for business, it is very different from a developing market like India. Probably in Dubai, the market mindset has not changed in 10 years. But in India, like we were saying, pehle affordability or lowest cost cheese बहुत सारे बहुत demand में था. When you go for an Alto or a 800 or let's say the cheapest phone, etc. But now it's the other side. Customer wants more and more. Now we are a value for money market. Yeah.
Money for value market. You give me value, I'll pay money now. Earlier it was completely cost low cost centric or low cost market.
I was speaking to one of these guys from an expert in the car industry who sells like second-hand cars and has studied a lot about car dealerships. And he told me that no car dealership makes money. In long run, every car dealership loses money. it's a very capital intensive business where only the rich person can invest in this, and then just it's a status game, so they afford to be rich. Like, it's not like you can make a lot of money through dealerships. Do you believe in this?
I don't.
So dealerships do make money
Of course, man. Nobody is
in a long run, like, not because
It is
today like your run is going great.
Yeah,
So
it
in
is.
last 3-4 years, Tata dealership must have made shit tons of money.
Yeah. I mean, it is relatively a long-term retail game, not like traditional retail where it is much slower. Because same issue, when it's a capital-intensive industry. So
Very.
yeah, so dealer stock holding is high. You need large showrooms to be able to display more number of cars. You need service centers, which also needs more space. You need bays with lifts and all that. So investment is high, but car dealers make money.
How
Good
much
amount of money. Yeah.
How much
But
money
over a
is-
long period of time, of course, you need to run it well. You can't just leave it to somebody because it's complex.
So it's a full-time business. It's not like a side business you can
It's a
have.
full-time job. It's got all the complications of running a larger company. You have hugely manpower intrinsic operations, which is the front line, sales, customer facing. You have deep financial aspects where you have to manage your money,
Hold inventory. and
hold
stuff.
inventory. Service part, technical aspect is there. Then, you have to manage large areas of land, to stockyard. You have the service center, you have the dealership. So it's quite a complex business. Then you have to sell a lot of non-vehicle business, you have to sell insurance, accessories, finance. So it's a end-to-end kind of a business game. Even a small car dealership has multiple streams. It is not that I will sell only cement and that's my only thing,
Thank you so much for spending time.
My pleasure, Raj.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for spending too much time.
340.
Yes, sir. लोकल लैंग्वेज में हिंदी और लोकल लैंग्वेज आई थिंक वहाँ पे ट्रस्ट को बहुत हाई इंपॉर्टेंस देते हैं. सो दे आर मोर लॉयल एज ऑडियंस टूवर्ड्स एनी प्रोडक्ट. लाइक आई सीन इन अ स्मॉल विलेज जहाँ पे सिर्फ 10,000 लोग रहते हैं. इन द 10,000 द गाय विल कम एंड लाइक मुझे बिल्ली वाला सेल चाहिए.
Already, no?
Yeah, the other cell is maybe cheaper, but he wants the बिल्ली वाला cell because he trusts that cell.
That's a good insight.
थैंक यू सो मच ये एपिसोड एंड तक देखने के लिए. आपको पता है कि 3 चीज़ें करनी है. सबसे पहले इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, क्योंकि इसी तरह हम और भी इंसाइटफुल और बेहतर गेस्ट ला पाएंगे अगर आप सब्सक्राइब करते जाएंगे तो. नंबर 2, प्लीज़ हमें कमेंट में बताओ कि और ऐसे कौन से गेस्ट हैं एंड ऐसी कौन सी कंपनीज हैं जिनकी जर्नीज़ आप जानना चाहते हो, ताकि उन गेस्ट को हम इधर ला पाएँ एंड उनसे वही सवाल करें जो आप चाहते हो हम उनसे पूछें. एंड नंबर 3, ये एपिसोड किसी एक इंसान के साथ ज़रूर शेयर करना जिसकी लाइफ में एक पॉजिटिव चेंज आएगा, उसे इससे कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा. एंजॉय दिस एपिसोड एंड मैनी मोर एपिसोड्स टू कम. अंटिल नेक्स्ट एपिसोड, कीप फिगरिंग आउट.